The Dragon Hunter's Great Katana is a wonderful physical damage weapon. It has a ranged Ash of War and belongs to a great new weapon type. This gravelly sword excels at much more than just hunting dragons. The Dragon Hunter's Great Katana is a drop from defeating a boss in the DLC. We need simply jump down the massive hole in the dragon pit and defeat the ancient dragon man. He'll drop you the sword upon your victory. The moveset is the same as the Great Katana you can find by the undead dragon in the lake by the bridge to Castle Ensis. A combination of pierce and slash attacks lets us use two different types of physical damage and deal high poise damage in the process. The Dragon Hunters also has great range, like the other weapons in its class. The range was very refreshing after I used a hand-to-hand weapon, that being the Dryleaf Arts in my most recent playthrough. By virtue of being a Great Katana, we also get a nice 55 blood loss buildup. The Ash of War, Dragon Wound Slash, is one of my favorite ashes I've used in a while. Tap the Ash of War button, and your character will get airborne before slashing with the weapon. If you hold down the Ash of War button, the sword shoots out a wave of physical damage. If we are close to the boss when we fire off the wave, we can hit with both the wave and the sword to deal even more damage. This is perfect if you want to deal big damage up close, or need a ranged option without investing too much into faith or intelligence. The fact that this is a physical damage wave also means we'll do well against elemental resistant bosses, such as the Elden Beast. We want to use both Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength on this build. Flame Grant Me Strength boosts our physical damage, and because the wave attack is also physical damage, both incantations will boost the power of the Ash of War. The playstyle of this weapon is based around waiting for opportunities to use the Ash of War. We can use R1s to slash, and running R1s to pierce in the meantime. To mix things up and not use any FP, we can use a fully charged heavy attack instead of the Ash. Dragon Wound Slash is definitely the highlight of this weapon. I don't have too much footage of me fighting dragons this run, because it finished them off so quickly. Both the moveset and the wave attack deal extra damage to them. It was also very kind of From Software to give us the best anti-dragon weapon in the game, one area before fighting Bale the Dread. Because of this weapon, I was able to slay the Dread Dragon on my third try. I still regret not summoning Egon to this fight, however. One thing that I have to mention is the sheath of this weapon. Unless you're running, it will clip into something, and it clips into Torrent when you're riding. Also, this thing has to be super wide and durable to hold the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. The blade is covered in jagged spikes of gravelstone, which would make it impossible to sheath nicely. This has nothing to do with the combat mechanics of this game, but I did have to look at it for a whole playthrough, and it was hard to ignore. Luckily, the weapon is more than good enough to cancel out any feeling I have about this. Before we get into stats and talismans, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the build videos. There is plenty of DLC content that I have yet to touch on, so build recommendations are welcome as always. For our talismans, we had on the Shard of Alexander, for 15% more power with the Ash of War, the Godfrey Icon, for even more power when we fully charge the Ash of War, the Two-Headed Turtle Talisman, for the best stamina regen, and the Dragon Crest Great Shield, for 20% physical damage negation. I didn't feel strongly about any tiers in this setup, but I did mess around with the Bloodsucking Crack tier, the Opaline Hard tier, and the Green Burst Crystal tier. I did try using the Spiked Crack tier, but it did not affect the Ash of War wave damage. For our stats at RL 170, we had 60 Vigor, 20 Mind, 35 Endurance to wear the Drake Knight armor, and to counteract the huge stamina cost of Dragon Wound Slash, 50 Strength and 43 Dexterity due to scaling, and 25 Faith for Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. The Dragon Hunter's Great Katana is the third and final member of its weapon class I've done a run with. I can say with confidence that all three Great Katanas have their strengths and can beat the whole of Elden Ring with relative ease. If a focus on physical damage and a fun ranged option is what you want, this is the weapon you need to use.